today, please comment below in the chat. Oh, greetings from Philippines. Hello. Hi, Mr. Vicky.
Hi, Nadia.
Hi, how is it going?
Hello, Nurul. I'm fine. What about you?
I'm fine too. Are you excited reviewing the motivational letter today?
Yes, I'm really excited. I spent an hours to review your motivation letters. In this case, I will try
Oh my
to
God.
yes, I will try to review your motivation letter. I will give you a feedbacks and solutions how to create a good motivation letter. Okay.
Like I already saw it, the draft, and it's really detailed. So the one who got the review, it's just a lucky you are.
Yes. By the way, can you listen to my voice clearly?
Yes, totally.
Oh, all right. That's great.
Okay, we will invite Devta Ina Mustika from Universitas Indonesia to got review from Mr. Vicky.
Oh, yes. There is Defta here.
Yes, we will do one who got review. So yeah, this is Devta.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes.
Sorry, I have a sore throat right now, so my voice kind of.
It's totally okay. How's your day?
It's pretty bad actually. I slept, but I slept pretty late right now.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm very excited, but my sore throat is kind of killing me right now.
Okay. Get well soon for your voice.
Thank
And we will
you.
look moving forward to Mr. Vicky, and the floor is yours.
Oh, okay. Before I proceed, before I review your motivation letter and I continue with the materials or with amazing materials that you got yesterday. But can you listen to my voice clearly and there's an echo or not?
I can hear your voice clearly and no echoing.
No echo at all.
Yeah.
No echo at all. All right, great. There is 38 of peoples here. So you are ready to listen to me, right? Okay. Just keep it enjoy. How long the duration of my part here? 1 hours, right?
Yes, Mr. Vicky.
Oh, okay. All right, great one. So may I start now?
Yes, you may start now.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning to everyone. I am Mr. Vicky, or you can call me Vicky or Vicky as your brother, not ours. So today we are going to continue our materials. The previous one, okay, we already discussed about motivation letter, which is already mentioned by our incredible MC today. So maybe you ask me, okay, before I proceed to our materials of the day, I'm going to give you a story. I never expect that today I will be a speaker for motivation letter. How it could be? I don't know. I never think maybe I graduated from Islamic Senior High School in Banten province. So I never expect that I can meet the amazing students like you guys here. Okay, I'm really appreciated for this international workshop, and you know how my experience in creating motivation letter. Okay, I am an awardee of scholarship, but I get confused or I get some problems in drafting motivation letter. What is that? At the first time, I asked my sisters to review my motivation letter. What I have to do for that, and that's guys. I try to translate my motivation letter in Indonesian language, and then I asked my supervisor, is it correct or not? So there are many mistakes. Before I being like today, before I be speaker, I got many challenging, I got many challenging. It's not automatically. No. It has a process. It has long-term a process. How I can create motivation letter, and I give the tips and trick to you. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about the motivation letters, and we will review about one of your friends, what which is I select this motivation letter because I think it's quite better. So that's maybe without further ado, I ask the operator to share my screen before we proceed to the review motivation letter. I'm going to share my materials to you. Okay, motivation letter. Before we proceed to these materials, yesterday we discussed about general essay, right? What is motivation letter it is, and what are the goals of motivation letter? Motivation letter structure in the general, how you create motivation letter, what kind of information that you have to include it, general tips for writing effective motivation letter, and some useful tools to assist you in creating motivation letter. So today I'm going to share to you to continue the previous one about the motivation letter. As my expectations, once you join this international workshop, so you don't know how to create good motivation letter, and then after you join this international workshops, you know so well how to create good motivation letter, isn't it? So let's we proceed to our discussion of the day. Next slide. Okay, what we're going to discuss right now. Okay, the first one. What kind of information should not be included in motivation letter? Yesterday we discussed about information what we are supposed to include in our motivation letter. But for the day, what kind of statement, what kind of informations or a story you are not supposed to include in your motivation letter? And then, what are the most common mistakes in motivation letter writing? Okay, and the next one, writing tips special for you. Of course, I always give my tips how to create good motivation letter. And the next one, do you agree or disagree with the following statements? Okay, for this one, I'm going to ask you to discuss about the statement what I have created before. So afterwards, I will proceed the review samples of motivation letter, which is I just took one motivation, the sample of motivation letter, which is from Miss Dafta, and the last session is Q&A session. So let's move to next slide. Do you know what kind of informatics should not, what kind of information should not be included in motivation letter? Anyone knows here? If you have known about this part, you briefly just you just briefly comment in the text below here in the comment box. Do you know what kind of information should not be included in motivation letter? You know, so there is not everything you can include in. So without further ado, let's proceed to the next slide. Okay, the first one the first one is about, all right, that's great, Oktami. Okay, the first one is self weakness. You do not need to list your weakness in the motlet. Instead, list your interests, objectives, goals, and reasons. Brief introductions about oneself can also be made without having to mention your flaws or your fault. Motlets is a tool for self promotion, as I already mentioned to you last time. So, what you need to demonstrate at Motet are good things that you can express fully. Instead, you should explain why you are eligible to get this scholarship. Okay, guys, for this session, in your motivation letter, you no need to tell about your weakness, about your fault. For the instance like this, maybe you tell about your failure, about your failure at the last time. You no need to mention about that because as I already mentioned yesterday, in motivation letter, you just promote yourself. Try to market it without say or without describes, without illustrate your self weakness or about your fault. Understandable? So this is forbidden, I think. In my opinion, you no need to tell about that, about your self weakness. So the next one, research plan. All right. When applying for a master's or doctoral program, prospective candidates are normally required to present a research plan, isn't it? Please keep in mind that you do not need to describe the research strategy at Motlet because there is a separate part of it. Do you know why I tell to you you no need you no need tell about your research plan because guys if I see to the motivation letter or letter of intent in for Turkey Larry, there is a part for research, there is a part for what is that for research proposal or thesis proposal like that. So you no need tell everything that you want to do in the future, that you want to do, what kind of research that you want to apply for your university. No need. So these the two things you no need to tell in your motivation letter. The first one is self weakness, and the last one is research plan. Understandable, guys? Because research plan it has a strategy. I repeat once more. A research plan, you can describe it at the correct part because it is separate. Okay? Because it is separate and different with motivation letter. Not only research plan. I already informed to you last time or yesterday. You no need to put everything related to your informations or your strength, right? You can just simply put it or write it or draft it in your resume or in your CV. Okay? So the next one, okay. What are the most common mistakes in motivation letter writing? Yes, yesterday I explained to you about what kind of information that you should include in motivation letter and what are the tips and tricks how to create essential motivation letter. So, for today, I give you what are the most common mistakes in creating motivation letter or in creating letter of intent or essay. Not guys. Motlett has enough strength in the selecting process. Some even said that a great Motlett may outperform a good academic score as a result. Motlett is writing would be given as much attention. You may write an excellent Motlett by learning from the errors that others or scholarship applicants have made. Okay, motivation letter is really essential. Okay, besides letter of recommendation, your certificate, your achievements, and then your language proficiency, your diploma, your what is that? Your transcript, and many things. But a motivation letter, you're supposed to tell about you. You have to promote about yourself to what? To circularship committee. How they get in touch with without read your motivation letter. So this is a logic. right? If you think that a motivation letter is not important, do you believe that you can be scholarship holder if you are scholarship hunter? Okay, so please take note, right? Please take note. Motivation letter has a has enough strength or has high capability to what is that? To make you whether you eligible or not. Okay, like that. So to sum up, you cannot avoid motivation letter once you want to apply in Australia, once you want to apply in the UK, Malaysia, Turkey, and many countries. Obviously, you need to write a motivation letter. But once you join this international workshop about motivation letter, so you know how to create effective motivation letter, isn't it? So let's proceed to the next slide. All right. What are the common mistakes here? So the first one is using complicated language. Okay, guys. Motlett writing emphasizes formal language. Yes, correct. But it is neither overly complex or difficult to understand. Try to write motlett in a way that flows like you are telling a story. Sorry, you are telling a story, not he's telling a story. What is the significance of this? Motlett evaluation is based not only on the content of the motlett, but also on how it is written. Your ability to communicate what inspired, what motivated you, and your ambition at motlett is also evaluated. Of course, if you write in the complicated language, the sector will not be interested to select you as an eligible candidate, or the committee not interested to read your motivation letter. So don't try to use unfamiliar vocabulary. Don't try to use complicated language. Maybe you can use maybe what is that, like a foam, like many things which is uh really difficult to understand. Try avoid using complicated language. It's okay if you use a normal language. If you use what is that, you can memorize, you are really familiar with this vocabularies, right? You have to One thing that you have to know: motivation letter is different with academic writing. Okay, it is really different. You can use an informal language once you create a motivation letter, because in motivation letter that you tell a story that that's not inform the data analysis. Now this is about your story, how you create it, and how I as the scholarship committee, how I can interest to read your motivation letter. So do not using complicated language. And the next one, autofocus. When writing a motlett, keep in mind what you want to describe. When you want to set up your motivation letter, please, all right, keep in your mind what kind of information that you want to illustrate. Don't waste the time worrying about things that don't matter. Making an overview of the schema first, or the brainstorming before starting to develop it point by point. It's one technique for you to able to produce essay with a focus. As I already mentioned yesterday, what kind of informations, what are the general structure in creating motivation letter? The first one about your introduction. What kind of information you are supposed to include your introductions in the first paragraph or the second paragraphs? So the next one is about why. All right, it's about why this major, or why this program, why this major that you want to study about your bachelor, master, or doctoral. And what kind of the problem that issue can you solve by taking this study? And then why this university? Why this scholarship? Why this country? Why are you the most qualified candidate? And what are your future plans? And the summary. So this is brainstorming. Okay. There is one issue. There is one issue. Kaviki, I am really confused how to create motivation letter. I just write down anything, the information. Okay. Maybe you have your typically the specialization in creating motivation letter, but how can you make the committee interest to read your motivation letter? To avoid to avoid out of focus, I recommend to you, or I suggest to you, to create brainstorming. Do you know what is brainstorming? If you anyone's now, please send in the comment box. Please write down your answer in the comment box. What is brainstorming? What is brainstorming? Anyone know here? All right. Okay. Without further ado, brainstorming. What is that? Getting this. E. Okay, I cannot say that it's incorrect, but I will try to explain to you more about brainstorming of motivation letter. Okay, as I told to you earlier, you can try to make a list, right, or to make a draft how to create motivation letter. You know, guys, there is one our scholarship holder or our default scholarship. He has preparation about 1 month or a month to create motivation letter. In creating motivation letter, you need lot of times. You need spend many times, right? You cannot just simply write your motivation letter in a minute. But one thing that you have to know, if you are really professional and you know everything about your motivation letter, maybe you can write about hours. Sometimes, I just share my experience. Once I want to join international student exchange, all right? So there is motivation letter. So, how long the duration I need to write motivation letter? I just need about 15 if you want to know. 15 until 1 hours. It is depends on the length of word or the maximum of words. If I suppose to create 500 words the maximum or 100 words the maximum ones, I need 1 hours maybe. But if it's only about 50 words, 20 words, 200 words, 300 words, I think it is less than 15 minutes. Why? Because I already understood about how to create motivation letter. So once you already understood, comprehend about how to create motivation letter, I think you no need to spend a lot of times. But one thing that you have to know, once you created a motivation letter, do not forget to do proofreading. All right, proofreading, as I already mentioned earlier yesterday. Okay, let's proceed to the next slide. All right. So the next common mistakes is about not on target. Try to put out exactly what you want to convey. Develop or try to put exactly what you want to describe. Okay, in another language, in other synonyms, what what kind of information that you want to describe. Develop your writing with attention and precision. What is apparent is that you should not let other individuals who read your motlet misunderstanding with the meaning of the purpose of your motlet. All right. So in creating motivation letter, Besides that, you have to create brainstorming. Do not use complicated language or other things. Okay, guys, try to create a motivation letter which is you can reduce misunderstanding from others. Sometimes I tell the story again. I was a mentor and consultant for scholarship hunters. Any motivation letter I can receive, I read one of motivation letter from the applicant. Don't understand at all. Why? Because there is no target. What are your purposes in creating this motivation letter? I don't understand. You just not simply that like you are debating that, or you just simply write about your arguments in debating session. No, like that. But you have a target. You have an objective. Try to avoid complicated language as well. I try to understand, but it's so difficult. So I try to so I give a time to the applicant. I let him or her to consult with me so that I can understand. Okay, what are the faults here? What are the problems here? Is it like that? So try to write your motivation letter with specific purposes. With specific purposes. Okay? So don't let your motivation not on target, because it will make others it's really complicated to understand your motivation letter. Do you want? You spend a lot of times. You spend a month to create your motivation letter, but the committee did not read your motivation letter. How do you feel? It's really hard, right? Okay. So please avoid this mistake. Okay, we proceed to the next slide. Okay, and then dishonest. What you write in the motive must be related to what is in you. When drafting your motivation letter, try to be truthful. Don't lie to the committee. Guys, do you ever heard about students, about the applicant who lie to the committee? Who's lie to the committee? Try avoid this one. Try to be try to what is that? Try to confident in elaborating yourself. Do not lie. What kind of information not suitable or not related to yourself, don't mention it. If it's others achievement, you cannot put other achievement and then you claim it's your achievements. It is forbidden, because you cannot dishonest. Once you create a motivation letter for, so I give the examples to you like this. I won international competition at what is that, mathematics. Okay, you won at the what is it, you won a golden, right, golden winner in mathematics. So but you know, but in the real life it's never happened to you. So you cannot lie to the committee because of what? Because why? Because once the committee read a motivation letter, there is another session which is interview session. The interviewers will ask to you, is it correct that you got this winner? So if you lie, how can you elaborate? How can you explain to the committee? Please avoid these mistakes. Okay? So the next one is there is no proofreading. Okay, back. So the next one is there is back. Not next. All right. There is no proofreading. When you have completed writing your moodlet, you might ask the teacher or mentor to read it. If required, you can seek proofreading assistance from those who have previously written moodlet. Don't forget to ask correction for any written errors, because motivation letter is written in English. You must also ensure that your grammar is perfect. But don't worry, motivation letter is not same with academic writing, because in motivation letter you just describe about yourself, you just tell a story. But But once you finish creating, or once you finish create a motivation letter, task, I try ask your mentor. Do you have mentor? Do you have English teacher? Do you have a senior? Do you have a lecturer? Ask to them. Ask to them, because you cannot judge your motivation letter by yourself. Try give your motivation letter to others. You let them, or you let him or she or her to read your motivation letter and try to give a feedback. Okay, try to get a feedback, but I can give you recommendations like this. If you don't want to ask to lecturer or your English teacher, you can try check it on Grammarly or paraphrasing tool in Quillbot. But it is only for checking grammatical and checking the synonyms. But if you want to know the feedback from your content of motivation letter, you are supposed to ask your mentor, or you can ask your lecturer, because computer cannot give feedback to you. All right, can give feedback, it's only suggestion to change a words or to rephrase a sentence like that. Okay, so please avoid these common mistakes. Next. Okay, so this one I give you writing tips. This is very special for you. Next slide. The first one, read the essay question carefully and find the key themes. What does it mean? Okay, once you get a motivation letter, of course, there is a question. What kind of information you are supposed to include, right? What kind of statement that you have to write in your motivation letter? Key themes here, key themes here is keywords. Is keyword. Don't forget to create a brainstorming as well. Read the question. Okay, understand the question carefully. All right, don't forget it. So the next one is connect the result of your if efforts to the per meaning of the topic. For instance, you understand guys, what is the deeper meaning? Okay, makna yang lebih dalam, yang lebih details. Okay, for instance, in my university assignment or in my university project, I was the team leader. Okay, that is correct. That is correct, but it's not really perfect to mention about this statement. So maybe you can write like this: as a team leader. So you mention about your status here. You are a team leader, right? I motivated, or I inspired and coordinate my team to complete a project of natural water filters for remote communities, which scored an A. So you cannot just simply say that you are a leader. You are a leader in the organizations. You can elaborate about your function, about your job task, about your responsibility, like that, as this sentence. Okay, the first one, you tell about your positions here, your status as a leader. So what is your job, what are your responsibilities, like that. So once you become a leader, so what are the purposes, what are the objectives? Okay, so don't forget to write these tips. Next slide. Okay, the next one is use keyword or synonyms of keyword from throughout your essay. Okay, guys. I already told to you last day, try to use paraphrasing tools, because I am not perfect in English as well. I don't know about many vocabularies, but I try to use technologies. There is Quillbot, so I can simply refresh my words. Okay, I can give a synonyms. For example, like this: describe, show, illustrate, indicate. That is a synonym. Okay, you can use synonym in your essay. So the target, the criteria, what I underline, what I bold here, so that's one is the point. Okay, the next is target the criteria used by the scholarship committee to evaluate applicant essay. What are the target and what are the criteria of your motivation letter? Because the committee will read more about you from your motivation letter. So be clear and accurate. Don't use statement like this. In this essay, I will blah 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 blah. So maybe it's normal, You can find this statement, right? It is normal. In this essay, I will blah blah. This is not IELTS writing test, guys. In this essay, I will blah 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 blah. No, no, no need, no need. Please avoid this one. Be clear, okay? Because it is really general. Yes, I know motivation letter that you want to promote yourself, so you no need to write your intention that you want to write something. No need. Or the example like this. Um, for the first one, I will write introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion. You no need to do that. You no need to explain everything at the first paragraph. Okay. So the last one. You might conclude your essay by telling about what you plan to do in the future or your career's goals. You might conclude your essay by telling about what are your future plans. Okay, what are your future plans at the end of the paragraph? Because I already given the tips and trick to you. You can try to read it back. Next slide. Okay, what is that? Committee, how many left? Okay, you can text me in the private. Alright, 20 minutes. No, 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 no. Back. Okay, guys. I want us you to interactive. I want us your opinion. Just click, just write yes or no. Okay, or agree or disagree. Okay, do you agree with the following statements? Okay, next slide. Guys, this is a statement. I want you interact. I want you comment these statements. You just simply write your answer in the comment box. Okay, agree, agree, right? Agree or disagree. Agree or disagree. Like that. Okay? Okay, the first one, a kind or a type of motivation letters need you to include words about your expertise or professional gap or your career. Is it, do you agree or not? A type of essay, all right, a type of motivation letter need include about your expertise, about your power, about your strength, right? About your career plans. You agree or not with this statement? Just simply write down your answer here. Okay, good. There is an answer from Oktami. There is, okay, good one. Agree, agree, maybe agree. There is disagree. Okay, I know I didn't ask your reason why you agree or disagree. Okay, you just write down your answer. You agree or not. You agree or disagree to this statement. Okay, the next one. A scholarship essay can encourage you to write about your financial troubles, demonstrating that you cannot afford to study on your own and should be given a scholarship. Do you agree or disagree? Scholarship essay, okay, in your motivation letter, you can write about your financial problem. You can write your financial troubles. You have a problem in financial, but you want to study abroad. Do you agree or disagree? Disagree, agree. you can ask to yourself, why should I write my financial problem if I want to get scholarship, or should not? You know the answer. So next one. A type of essay requires you to outline all your accomplishment, as I already mentioned yesterday. A type of motivation letter asks you to drafting all your achievements in motivation letter. Okay, you get 20, you got 3, you got maybe 30 or 20 or 50 achievements. So you mention everything in your motivation letter. You agree or disagree, or you just write maybe 1, 2, or 3 your best accomplishment in your life. Okay, thank you so much. Disagree, disagree. All right, most of you write. Okay, most of you write disagree. Okay, good one. So it's up to you, because you who will write the motivation letter. So the next one, a type of essay does not require revision, review, proofreading by a scholarship expert, teacher, mentor, native speaker, or alumni. Okay, once you create a motivation letter, so you no need proofreading. You just simply write down your motivation letter about yourself and then just click submit to your application form. You agree or disagree? Once you create a motivation letter, right? Once you tell everything in motivation letter, you no need to check in grammarly, you no need check it, or you no need to paraphrase the sentences, or you no need to ask your teacher or your mentor to read your motivation letter. Okay, do you agree or disagree? So the answer you know so well. Okay, next slide. Next. Okay, this is the last one. A type of essay must demonstrate your adaptability in dealing with problems or new surroundings while studying abroad. Will you include this information? You have to describe about your adaptability. You understand adaptability? Okay, you can try to check in your dictionary. Okay, how you solve the problems. Should you what is that? Should you mention it? Okay, about the problems, need or no need. Okay, you agree or disagree with these statements? Up to you the answer. Okay, there's agree, disagree. All right. So a specific type of essay needs you to list your short and long term goal. You disagree or agree? In your motivation letter, there is long term goals, right? All right. So you need to list your short goals, and there's a paragraph to tell about your short goals, and there is a paragraph, or there is a part that you want to tell about long term of your goals. You agree or disagree? Just comment here. You agree or disagree? Agree. Okay. Agree. All right. Thank you so much for your answer. So the last one, a type of essay necessitates research about the university, the scholarship, and country. All right. Before you write your motivation letter, you are supposed to what? You are supposed to do a research on the university, what kind of scholarship, and the country. Should you create, what is that? Should you do a research of this one? You disagree, you agree or disagree? Please type your comment below. There is one person who answered this one. Okay, a type of essay, guys, needs. Okay, I change the language. Needs. Do a research. Okay, I explain in a simple language. Once you want to apply scholarship, okay, once you want to explain about the scholarship, you are supposed to do a research. You are supposed to get an informations about what is this, what kind of information, what kind of scholarship, sorry, what kind of scholarship it is. Okay, you can read about the benefits of scholarship. You can read about the, yes, maybe about the purposes of this scholarship, the eligible criteria and others. So you do research on this university. You can simply try to see in the websites or the internet, in the Google, of course. Okay, how this university, okay, for example, you want to study in Oxford University. You don't know Oxford before. You don't know what is Oxford University and where is the location. So you just write, I want to study in Oxford University. I want to continue my master degree in Oxford University. But you don't know information about Oxford. So you agree or disagree with these statements. Okay? So most of you write agree and there is disagree. You cannot say agree and disagree, but just choose one. Okay. So the next slide. Okay. So now it's time to review a sample of motivation letter. Where is Devta?
Here.
Okay. All right. Good one. How are you?
I'm very good, but my sore throat.
Oh, no problem. The committee. All right. The committee. Can you share the screen? I already sent to Aulia, I just shared my screen. Oh, this one. Okay. Miss Defta, can you read your motivation letter? I want to know about your pronunciation, how the way you read it in English. Try. I want to listen to you.
Okay, but disclaimer, my speaking is not really good.
Oh, no problem. Me too. I'm not really perfect in English. Try to read it.
Okay,
And
I'm
okay,
sorry, but
once you read it and try to explain, because you are a scholarship hunter right here, so you have to what is that? You have to explain more to me. All right? Okay.
before that, I want to ask, am I echoing right now?
What?
My voice, is it echoing?
Clear, 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 clear. Clear.
Okay, I will read my motivation letter right now. My name is Devta Mustika. I am a third-year student in Universitas Indonesia majoring in geography to pursue my bachelor degree. I plan to follow up my education abroad by pursuing a master degree in urban planning. As a kid, I always liked the city. The buildings, the roads, the drainage, and the colors of people living in the city have never failed to make me both interested and intrigued. I took a few projects to learn more about city, from webinars about smart city and how to create it, courses to strengthen my fundamentals, and lastly to competition. I realized that a city was not formed overnight. It was a long process involving many big and important aspects, including culture, topography, voices from the people, and many others. Those points in particular shaped my way of thinking. To grow, consider branches, not only one specific branch. That's why I took lessons not only urban related but also remote sensing, anthropology, area, and many others. I believe those courses will benefit me in making not only a city with a good infrastructure, but also understanding in how to make a good and livable city. I have worked on some projects to develop my critical thinking, also the ability to work and lead a team, because making a city is anything but small. I wanted to become an urban planner to create a city where people can live by not worrying about the smells, but from the gutter or river, free from floods and have breathable, also refreshing air, making an opportunity for underprivileged people to achieve healthiness. By accessing internet, I can see how several cities are so much better in their planning, such as Sendai, Japan. Sendai has a great way of building its city, from infrastructure to the greens, and also the air quality was so much better than Jakarta. That's why I wanted to go to Tohoku University, an university located in Sendai. It offers many courses, advanced knowledge, especially in urban planning. And I believe by living there, I will be able to learn not only by text or images, but by seeing it with my very own eyes and experiencing in firsthand, so I could contribute to my country by helping in making a city. I have worked and led several projects and is currently an active member in my faculty's legislative organization. Also, I plan to seek another opportunity by joining a community to become aware of the present situation in the society. Soon, after completing my master's degree, I have an ambition to build a city where people could live without worrying of their health, especially one coming from air quality problems, and also work with the government to make a better and sustainable city.
Okay, great one. May I know how old are you, Defta?
I am 20 going 21 this year.
2021 this year. Okay, I already checked your motivation letter. Before you write this motivation letter, do you have any information, or do you have any specific information you got before you join this workshop? You know well how to create a motivation letter.
I don't. I just search up in internet on how to make a good motivational letter.
Oh well, that's great. Okay, so I already give many feedbacks to you. The committee, can you, okay, can you see, can you show my comments? If cannot, I will just simply read it. Nothing, right? Okay, nothing. Not in here. Not in here. All right. Maybe, okay. You can back to the first paragraph. Okay. Devta. Maybe later on you can send your email to me, right? Okay. So you can read you can read here, right? My name is Devta in a Mostika. I'm third year student in Universitas Indonesia. Is English, is it correct language or not? It is correct statement or Universitas Indonesia or Indonesian University?
Actually, my university said that they don't say University of Indonesia, but
Oh, okay.
I the same case as UGM
Oh, okay. It's
and ITB.
oh, okay. No problem. No problem. But I'm not focused on that. All right. At the first paragraph, I recommend that you describe more about yourself in this part. Okay, this paragraph belongs to the introductions, right? To the introduction session. Overall, guys, overall, Defta, please fix the errors in this paragraph. There are some errors, so you can try to fix it, and you can highlight your short profile at the beginning of the paragraph. Perhaps you might begin with a statement that will excite the committee interest in understanding more about your motivation letter. So, after you highlight a brief profile about yourself, you can write down your full name, where do you live, your university, major, and potentially your most last GPA. Okay? So, that is the feedback for the first paragraph. I put a lot of feedback for you actually. Okay, to improve your motivation letter. But overall, I like your motivation letter. I like so much. I like it so much. Okay, we try to proceed to the next paragraphs here. So in the second paragraph, I suggest to you to tell more about your previous achievements or greatest experiences which is related with your major that is you intend to pursue. However, include any details that you believe would help to strengthen your point. Overall, I'm really appreciate your statement. Although it's too earlier, if you have to explain your interest in the city. Okay. So in the second paragraph, because I am not expert in English as well, but I try to give a feedback from your content. From your content. Do you understand about my feedback? What you what you have to do in the second paragraph? You understand?
Uh, really?
Okay, okay. I give the comment. I give a comment here. Okay. All right. I give a comment here. Nothing. Okay. That is one. That is first paragraph, and then this is the second paragraph. This is the second paragraph, and try to proceed to the third paragraph. Yeah, the third paragraph. All right, the third paragraph here. In the third paragraph, those point in the particular shape my way of thinking. Okay, in the third paragraph, by mentioning this explanation, you can illustrate or the origin of your interest with the cities, which is related to the country or major that you want to choose. You may make this statement more specific by using a better sentence. Overall, you have offered a compelling rationale to pursue your major you have chosen. This paragraph sentence are excellent. Okay, so I give feedback for this point. I like your statement here, but try to give it more specific. Okay, so because all right, maybe 5 minutes left. All right, so proceed to the next slide. Proceed to the next paragraph. I want to become. I want to become. Okay. So my feedback here, you have to provide strong explanation for your major choice in the third paragraph. Okay. Then in the fourth paragraph, I recommend that you write a specific statement on your decision to specialize in urban planner. Why you want to study at this major? So your reason are excellent. Okay, your reason are perfect, but maybe you can support them with the research data on urban planners, and then proceed to explain why you choose Tohoku University as your destination campus in further details. After I had reread your statement, you have the ability to explain problem as well as suggest solutions. Overall, very nice. The interpretation, as you mentioned, reasonable and simple, and it's really understandable. So these paragraphs, okay, this paragraph, oh, okay, this paragraph you are good enough in this one, but please give it more specific. Okay. Have you done a research about Tohoku University, Defta? Can you tell me more about Tohoku University and Japan?
I did a little bit. Like the courses, it offers many course I want to take for to strengthen my fundamentals, and I feel like by going there in Japan, especially where the air quality is so much better than in Jakarta or Depok in my case, I feel like by going there, I not only I can learn from the university itself, where it offers my great opportunity from the courses, the learning system and such, but I also feel like I can see the implementation from my knowledge. The thing I learned, I can see it how it come alive in there, and that's why I just the Harvard University in Sendai.
Oh, okay. All right, understandable. So, for this one, there is no problem. Maybe, um, this statement, okay, this statement, I can give you a time for consultation. So we proceed to the last paragraph here. Okay, this is final session. All right, I have work and led several project. This is the final paragraph. This is the final selection section. This is okay. You have you wrote everything about here about your future here. Once you have described in details who you are, what is your best experience in your life, what you want to study at urban planning, and so on, you might create a list of grand design that you wish to pursue after completing your master's degree at the university of your preference. Okay. Overall, overall, if I see here, the reason you provide are reasonable. Okay, but if there are any additional, please share them. Okay. But once again, give reason that makes sense and thus are simply to understand. Finally, you may draw a conclusion. Okay. Okay, I mean like here, you not only write about your future plan like this. You can try to be specific. Okay, try elaborate your future plan. If I have worked and led, I think you can move it to the first paragraph or to the second paragraph. Okay, Defta. Okay, to my mind, encourage the scholarship, right? Encourage the scholarship committee that if you are awarded to this scholarship, okay, you will give the best feedback and will never disappointed. Okay, so here, okay, soon after completing my master degree, I have an intention to build a city. What kind of city actually? Where people, okay, you explain more, where people could live without worrying about their health. Is, health is general problems, right? Especially one coming from air quality problems, and also work with the government to make a better sustainable city. Can you explain more about the details of this statement?
Okay, so I read in some news on some news, and I also learned that air quality problems actually led to many problems in our body because like we breathe and we taking oxygens, right? And by going from Jakarta to Depok or commuting or just like walking by feet, you breathe so much oxygen and I'm sorry but I'm gonna use Indonesia yang udah tercemar. Jadi so it like you breathe a pollution, an air has that is a bad quality, and from air quality index in Depok and Jakarta, both of them are in a worrying state where I forgot the exact number, but it's like yellow going red, or yeah, it's orange going red or yellow going orange. I kind of forgot, but it's not good for your health because it can cause many complications such as cancer, or it can also affect your brain, and it also can affect many things in your life because like I've said earlier that oxygen is our source of living, right? Like we need oxygen to live, and by living in a city where the air itself is not good, the air quality itself is not good, it can affect our life. And that is different from in Sendai in Japan, where they put many greens, and from the air quality index itself, they are in a green state, where it's a very good state compared to Jakarta or Depok.
Okay, well, it's great. Good explanation. May I know when you want to apply for scholarship, Defta?
I think I'm going to apply around March. For my information right now, it's March. The registration open at March.
March. Oh, at this year. For this year. Oh, okay, okay. So, actually, there are many motivation letter because I have some minutes, maybe 3 minutes left. So I cannot explain more to you, but actually I elaborate all the things. I give the feedbacks for your for every paragraphs. But don't worry, guys, don't worry. For those of you who are selected by the committee of this international workshop, you can come to me for consultation about how to create motivation letter. But overall, I give you a score 85 from from overall. It's great. I can say perfect to your motivation letter if you can try to correct it. Okay, try to understand about my feedback. But I positive. Okay, um, yeah. I positive. Maybe this year you can be a scholarship holder. Inshallah.
Amin,
So
amin.
not only you, maybe your friend as well. But don't worry, don't worry. I can, maybe I can to be your mentor, so I can give you a solution. We can create from the beginning. Overall, very very good. I like your motivation letter. All right,
Thank
thank
you
you,
so much, Mr.
Devta.
Nathan. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Maybe I can give you the details about my feedback. There are many feedbacks to you, but no problem because don't worry about the grammatical as well because Grammarly is based on the computer. If the Grammarly here is maybe there's punctuation, there is spelling errors, there is maybe a complicated sentence and anything, but I try to understand your context, okay, your context in your motivation letter. But overall, it is understandable. So you have a target, you have an objectives, you have a goals. You can elaborate the issues or the problem and you know how to solve it. So yeah, I agree. If I scholarship committee, maybe I can choose you as a scholarship holder because I know the quality of your motivation letter. Not all people can do that because sometimes some scholars need more than 2 weeks. How what is that? The duration in creating motivation letter, how long you do it? If may I know? How
I
long did
think
yeah,
around an hour.
an hour.
Yeah, but like an hour or more, because I already did it in the morning and I finished it in the night. So like an hour or more.
Oh, okay, okay. I think you're a smart student.
Thank you.
All right.
I hope so.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Defta. Because the times is up. So I just maybe you can turn off your sales scene, the committee. Just go or you can try to show up all my comments or my feedback, but you it's not appear, right? It's okay. It's okay. No problem. So this is from Grammarly, not from me actually. This is from Grammarly. But you can contact me as soon as possible in order to give more feedback to your motivation letter. Okay? Okay, Devta. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Alright, Mr. Vicky. Also, Devta, thank you for the review. And Devta, thank you for being available to coming to us for being reviewed by Mr. Vicky. I just want to say that a very big thank you for our invited speaker who has give his time to review the motivation letter. But before we proceed, we will have a group photo with Mr. Muhammad Abdurrahman Gofiki as well as our invited participant. Highly encourage everyone to turn on their camera, bring out your best charming smile and cute posture.
Okay. Maybe I want to tell you something. May I?
Yeah.
Okay. Devta, I need hours. I need an hour to give a feedback to your motivation letter. As normally I spend about 30 minutes, but I spend 1 hour because I want to give you the best feedback. Okay, the best feedback. So I created it's really details on your motivation letter. So guys, I have final exam right now, but I spend my time special for you. Why? Because I am really support. I support your intention that you want to study abroad as soon as possible. Okay, this year or next year you want to you can to be scholarship awardee or scholarship holder. But if you cannot get the scholarship from the university as you want, you can to be scholarship, what is that, you can to be scholarship committee, you can create like institutions so that you provide scholarship to others people. Okay, thank you so much. All right.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Vicky, and good luck for your final exam.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
All right now we will have a group photo. Operator, are you ready?
Okay, everyone, are you ready? On the third, one, two, three, cheese. Once again, one, two, three. Alright, thank you.
All right, thank you for the operator. And also right now, we will give a certificate for Mr. Muhammad Abdurrahman Gofiki to Mrs. Salma Alifa as the Head of Research and Development of Office of International Affairs, Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Yogyakarta, to give a few words, also the certificate. The floor is yours.
Thank you, MC Hana Dianura. Good morning, Mr. Muhammad Abdurrahman Gofiki.
All right,
My
Salma, good
name
morning.
my name is Salma Alifa Zalfaya, a committee member of GSPW 2022, and also head of Research and Department of OIA Open Veteran Yogyakarta. I want first of all I want to say thank you uh, because you have shared your knowledge with us and share your experience with us and help us to prepare better for the scholarship motivation letter and all the tips and tricks to make a good motivation letter. This maybe operator can share screen the certificate. Okay, thank you. Uh, this certificate is presented by OIA UPN Veteran Yogyakarta to Mr. Muhammad Abdurrahman Gofiki that are willing to be the speaker of GSPW or Global Scholarship Preparation Workshop 2022. Thank you for the dedication and for all the knowledge and feedback to all of us, for all of us. Hope we can meet on another occasion and we can meet on another workshop or any activities in the future. Thank you so much for your hard work in this workshop. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Anytime.
Back to the MC.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Salma Alifa, for saying a few words to our invited speakers. And also maybe Mr. Abdurrahman Gofiki wants to give us some closing statement. And to Mr. Muhammad Abdurrahman Gofiki, the floor is yours.
Okay. Maybe it's only short closing statement, right? So, okay, guys, I'm really grateful to having you all here. So I'm really grateful why I can to be a speaker in this amazing international workshop. I'm really happy, that I yes, jadi nervous kan. So, okay, inshallah, in the future, you will be you will be scholarship holder. Okay, because the points you join this international workshop that you can create how to create motivation letter. So as soon as possible, maybe not this year, maybe next year, or soon as you can to be a scholarship holder. Okay, try and try again. Of course, I know every successful person have a failure. Do not be afraid to fail because the failure is part of success. Every person have a different stage to gain, what is that, to gain a successful, right? So please try to confident on yourself. Don't be insecure. Okay, don't be insecure. So maybe this closing statement from me, it's only that. Okay, but I give a special time for you. You can contact me from you can text me on WhatsApp, or you can text me on Instagram. So you can ask many things related to the scholarship or motivation letter. So you can set up a time for me to do a consultation session, or maybe only that.
All right, thank you for Mr. Vicky for this today's sessions. All of the material already given to us, and also good luck for your exam. And so kind of him, like he wants to answer all of your questions, like hit him up at his social media, and also it will be the end of our first sessions. And right now, these second sessions will be the mocking interview sessions with some of selected participants that will be directly moderated by Mrs. Nurul Nisa. And the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Miss Nadia Nura. Also, thank you for Kak Vicky for the amazing and such a detailed correction for the motivation letter. And the next session, we will have walk-in interview for some of lucky person. Dear lecturers and friends, I think that we all look forward to listening to 6 people who will get their chance to interview with our invited speakers. I won't let everyone wait any longer. Please welcome Mr. Imade Andi Arsana, as well as the participants. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Andi.
Good morning, Nurul. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. Thank you so much.
Okay, maybe Mr. Andi want to give an instruction or anything to our participants before we jump into the mocking interview?
Thank you very much. I just want to say hello to Ibu Rukmo. Thank you very much once again, Ibu Rukmo, for inviting me. Congratulations for participants who have been given very good feedbacks by Mas Vicky. I somehow attended the last bit of the session. It was really good. And the next part is I will be with you, pretending to be your interviewer for 5 or 6 people. I hope you're really lucky or unlucky. I don't know. It depends on how we are going to do that later on. So what we are going to do is I will pretend to be an interviewer and I'll ask questions. The questions can be quite random as in not always start by tell me about yourself. I will not say that again because this is too conventional. I might ask you a real question that will need you to think about a little bit, probably about you yourself, your field of studies, about Indonesia, also about the relationship between Indonesia and other countries, because we are going to talk about international studies, right? And then one participant will have like 5 minutes. So you might have one good questions or substantial questions. I'll make sure that each of the student will have different questions. So that's why I will be able to discuss later on how you can improve. All right. I prepared already about 10 substantial questions with me. I will give 1, 2, or 3 to each of you. Thank you.
Okay. Maybe we will jump into our first lucky participant that will have the chance to be interviewed by Mr. Andi.
So
The first,
can I ask?
okay.
So this interview will be seen by everybody, right?
Right.
Everybody will see it. Okay, good.
Okay, maybe the first participant, I will invite Miss Yovita Hosiholan Tambunan from UPN Veteran Yogyakarta. Okay. You can start now, Mr. Andi.
Hi, Yovita, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Andi. Morning.
How are you? Are you good?
Good.
All right, thank you. One good advice to everybody, don't call me Mr. Andi, because Mr. Andi is a translation from Pak Andi, and that is not a correct way to address people internationally.
Okay.
So if you say Mr., Mr. has to be followed by last name, not the first name. This is for everybody, okay? I know you say Mr. Andi because you translate it from Pak Andi.
Yes, right.
That is the first incorrect way to address people internationally. If you call Mr. or Professor or Doctor, you have to follow that by last name. If you want to address me, but you cannot really address me Andi, right? You still want to respect me. So as the way out of this is, do still Pak Andi. So if you see an Indonesian, it is okay for you to say, call him Pak and then first name. You get my point? So this is for everybody. All right, Yovita.
Thank you. Yeah.
Tell me about yourself or about your interests to convince me really that you are willing to have or you are willing to do an unpopular decision. I hope you understand my question. If not, you can ask me.
Can you repeat it for once?
Okay. Tell me something about yourself to convince me that you are someone who are willing to do an unpopular decision. Or if you're not ready with that, I'll ask you. If I ask you like this, are you someone that is able to make an unpopular decision in your life? It is yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, okay, good. So you are someone who are willing to do an unpopular decision, right?
Yeah.
All right, now tell me one thing that convinced me that you are.
Okay. Before I started, thank I'm an undergrad.
I don't know. I
Like,
cannot really hear. The connection, like my connection or your connection? Nurul, can you confirm that?
I think it's my connect though.
All right.
That's okay.
Right.
First of all, thank you for that chance. Yes, I am an undergraduate student majoring agribusiness who wants to learn more and take interest in marketing, leading, and public relations. And for my decisions to make my own company, it was like make my motivations to joining this one. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Imagine if you are now in somewhere overseas, okay? Imagine you are an Indonesian, you are living, for example, in the UK at the moment. Imagine yourself, okay? And you watch TV.
Yeah.
Okay, you're watching TV at the moment about bad news. Okay, imagine that. If you see bad news about Indonesia, what do you think the news will be? Imagine you are in the UK, you're watching TV, and you're watching a bad news.
Okay. I think it will give impact for me because I'm from Indonesia though, but actually I standing up here and would be maybe make another issue like I can improve. I can prove that that's all of Indonesia things is a bad thing. So I can make my own journey for making Indonesia better.
Good point.
Okay.
You should answer my question first. What do you think the news will be? What do you think the news will be? Or what news will you see if the news is about Indonesia and is about bad thing? If you don't understand my question, you can ask me.
Okay, I know.
Okay.
Maybe it was kind of like cultural issues because of Indonesia has much of issue have a much of culture that maybe there is will be a different thought. Yeah.
Okay, give me one example. What do you think the UK people will see bad about Indonesia? Give me one example.
It was like maybe I think it's a cultural cultural issue. It seems like what
It's okay. Take your time.
yeah. It was like there is a culture in between Javanese and also like Java is
Okay.
have a much of people like
All right.
maybe East Java and West Java, like
Mhm.
they're both have same willing to get that culture into their own, like
Okay. Do you think that that will be a bad news about Indonesia?
yeah,
Few
I
bad
think
UK people.
so.
Okay, good. Now tell me, how are you going to tell the British people about that issue?
Okay, I will maybe tell it was maybe uh misunderstood about the historical story, like just it's not a big deal for that because of yeah, it was so actually there are this it is the same places though, but maybe it was just about egoism.
All right. So you'll try to convince people that it is actually not a problem, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now I'll give you one typical questions. Why do you think you are qualified for this program? And why should I choose you, not others? I think your connection is a bit problematic, Evita. It's okay. It's okay. Take your
So
time.
sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No,
Thank you,
it's okay.
Mr. So first of all, I think I have a big decisions to make a big change to my own country, and I have a much of experience also in organizational things and also academic things, so I
Okay.
can make much of changer. That's why
Yes.
I have to qualify in this change. Okay.
Very good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Evita. I think so we're done with you. We will talk about this later on after the session. Okay. Good job.
Thank you, Mr.
Pleasure. Should I get back to the second participant?
Okay, thank you, Yovita Hasiholan, for your participation and your courage to do the mock interview with Mr. Arsana. The next participant will be Kevin Dava Pratista from Universitas Pembangunan Nasional Veteran Yogyakarta. Dava, are you here? Okay. Okay. Kevin is here. Maybe the operator will pin Kevin first. Okay.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
Hi, Mr. Andi Arsana. I'm good.
Where are you located now?
I'm located at Yogyakarta currently.
Okay, which part of Yogyakarta?
Sleman, around Monjali.
All right, we're actually quite close. What are you doing now in UPN? I mean, what subject are you doing? What course?
I'm currently on a international relations major.
Right.
On 6th semester.
Okay. What is your interest in international relation? Is there anything in particular?
In particular, maybe I like to learn about the international economics, and how policy are made in countries like Indonesia and some others.
Talking about the economy of Indonesia, do you understand what is our rank in the world in terms of GDP?
In terms of GDP itself,
what is our position?
I think, if I'm not wrong,
yeah,
it's under 100 tops. It's nearing near almost Thailand and Malaysia.
The rank is under, yeah.
A bit lost about the rank itself.
Okay, it's okay. Okay.
I haven't do some research about it.
Okay, no problem. No problem. All right, Kevin. Do you think you are a problem solver?
I think so, personally.
Okay, tell me one story that you have to convince me that you are a problem solver.
I'm sorry, any story, right?
Any story, any story.
I once, I think I'll tell about story about how I try to solve my internal activities,
right,
in my major, because we once I was given some opportunities to become head of committee of legislations.
Okay.
The campus legislations in FISIP. We were out of peoples, and I lead them. One assignment that I have is to reevaluate on how the funds run, how the money from the campus into the organization that whole of the FISIPs are held. So the problem is there are the fund itself, the money that the university gives to those organizations are a bit less. So like there are a decline on the fund itself. So I try to solve it by doing some research and how the funds are used on the organizations, how the money are sent, and after that I try to solve it. I try to give to the head of those organizations.
Yeah,
we try to communicate. We try to find the solve together, and in the end, we found solution. We need to talk to the decan, wakil decan.
All right, the dean. Yeah,
and
great.
And the
thank you so much.
Itself,
thank you so much.
All right.
I've got your answer. Thank you so much. It's really good. I think we can talk about this later on. Okay. Now I would like to move to the third participant. Thank you so much, Kevin.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Andiasa.
My pleasure.
Okay, thank you for Kevin, for your braveness to try the mock interview. And then the third participant will be Ananda Naufal from UPN Veteran Yogyakarta. Okay, Ananda Naufal is here.
Hi, Ananda. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Arsana. It's such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, I'm great.
Pleasure to meet you too. Thank you very much. What is your major?
My major is international relation currently.
And you are going to go where? What country?
My target country is currently UK.
The UK. All right, great. Do you know how many countries are there in the world?
I don't
Roughly?
know. Yeah, roughly.
You don't know?
Yeah, not that exact.
Okay. Can you mention a number roughly? No, not really. That's okay if you don't. Okay, why do I ask you this question? Because this will lead to another question like why UK?
Okay, I think it's around almost 200, maybe 190, I guess.
Yes. So why the UK? Why do you want to go to UK out of those 200 countries?
It's basically because of my interest of UK because I don't know, the people there is kind of what we call it. I'm kind of attracted to people there and how they maintain the technology there and also how to maintain the relationship with other countries, but at the same time they still focus in what we call kingdom-based governance.
Okay.
Yeah,
Monarch.
Yeah, exactly. And then yeah, that's the main reason why I interest in UK.
All right, good. So what have you prepared to go there?
Currently I just prepared my English, of course, because English there is kind of different, which is more British. So yeah, I prepared like practicing my IELTS, and then I also learn some things what to do and not to do in UK also.
Right. Okay, it seems to me that you are ready to go to the UK.
Yeah, inshallah, of course.
All right. This can be a short, but you're very good. Can I go to the fourth candidates, please?
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ananda.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure. Good job.
Okay, thank you for Ananda Naufal. The next participant will be M. Azhar Muammar from STIE ISTI Ekatana Upaweda Yogyakarta. Maybe the operator will, okay.
Hello, Mr. Rasana.
Can I call you Azhar?
Sure.
Okay, Azhar, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. About it?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Imagine you're an Indonesian, right? How you are now? I think it's at like 20. How old are you now? 20 something? 20, correct. What do you think one of the major problems that Indonesia is now facing that you can help to solve?
I think the Indonesian problem right now is about economic.
Okay, right. Good. Like what is the problem? My question is that the problems that you can help to solve, even though a little bit.
Be the participant to make growth of the economy.
Okay, what is that in real action?
In real action, yeah, we as Indonesian people, we have to pay our tax.
Oh, okay, great, good. So paying tax is, I think, it is good. It's a good action to help the economy. growing, right?
Right.
Why do you say that economy is the problems? Do you think that it's affect you? So you feel it that the economy is bad, so you are facing problems because of that?
Maybe because it's pandemic, so the
All right.
economic getting low.
Okay.
But for now, I think the economic is going to be recovered again.
Okay, that's a good point. So when you say the economy was bad, for example, does it affect you, or did it affect you in particular?
Like my college, maybe I want to pay my SPP.
Okay. Mhm.
I have economic problem in my family, so
Okay.
I can afford the price of my SPP.
That is a good point. So when you say there's a problem, you can actually say it because you also experience it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry about that, but I really hope that you can solve the problem. Now, what do you think the government can do or should do to increase or to improve the economy?
I think the government should do more invest from another country to
Okay.
contribute more.
But sometimes people say that if we receive investment from China, people are angry. What do you think about that?
Yeah, maybe like myself, I agree too, but I think for the better Indonesian economic, we should collaborate with Chinese.
That's very good. Very good point. Now the last but not least questions. Do you understand somehow that Indonesia is part of the G20?
Yeah, for now, I think Indonesia is the president of G20.
Great. Why do you think Indonesia is there?
Because Indonesia is now like more growing, become the negara maju.
Okay. It's a good news then.
Yes.
All right, great. See, you've done great, Asar. Thank you very much. Let me go to the next candidate. Thank you so much. Good job, Asar.
You're welcome.
Pleasure.
Okay, thank you, Azhar. And then the next participant is Hertanti Kusuma from UPN Veteran Yogyakarta. Miss Hertanti, are you here yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Hertanti, how are you?
I'm good.
How should I call you? Hertanti, Kusuma, Wardani, or what?
Just call me Hetanti, I think. Yeah.
Hertanti, right. Where are you
Yeah.
now located?
Yeah. Pardon me?
Where are you located now?
I'm in Jambi province, actually in one of the mining companies.
Oh, great. Okay. So what are you doing at UPN? What subject?
My major is mining engineering, especially master degree.
Oh, great.
And my concern is mining environment.
Okay, very good. I will not really talk that much about the mining, but you are Muslim. I can understand. Is it correct? You're Muslim, right?
Yes, I'm Muslim.
Are you going to go to the UK or to other countries?
Oh, I want to go to other countries.
Like?
I don't have a plan. Actually, I don't have a plan to abroad from last year, but my plan has, I think, changed from last year because I think suddenly I want to go to Kazakhstan. I think in Kazakhstan is a mining company have a sophisticated knowledge and sophisticated technology for mining engineering.
All right. Okay. The reason for me to ask about your religion is no offense, but this is what usually happen if you go overseas where Islam is not the majority.
Yeah.
They have different culture, right?
Yeah.
So imagine you are in the UK, even though you don't want to go to UK, but imagine yourself, you want to go to
Yeah.
UK, you are in the UK,
Yeah.
and you are in a class, and your
Yeah.
professor one day invite everybody in the class to be with him, spending a couple of hours in a club. You got my point?
Yeah.
It is an open invitation. You don't have to go, but he said that, hey, this is open. Everybody, you can come with me and let's have a conversation in the club while we're doing something. Okay, and you are there as a student. What will you do, or what will you say?
Well, I think it's a hard question, right? I think
It is ugly, but
in my perspective, I think I can reject smoothly. I think I can give a reason why I don't. My religion don't permit me to go join them, and I give a reason why the Muslim that join to the club. That's the reason. I just think in I just
right.
give a reason for them. Yeah.
Okay, and you're sure that they will understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good, very good point. Okay, let's go back to your field a little bit, because you talk about the mining, right? What do you think about the policy of Indonesia to change the approach of exporting raw materials into a product? Do you know this issue, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
In cash, export, right? Pardon me.
Yeah.
I think to stop the export to abroad, to overseas,
Yeah.
I think it's not a good decision. I think in Indonesia, I think we have to improve more about we have to improve more. I think Indonesia is not ready. Indonesia is not ready about this. Indonesia, I think, was one of the country that not ready about it. We have to export, I think, for several years. Yes, I
All right.
think that. Yeah.
Okay, good point you made. Thank you very much, Hartanti.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Pleasure. So I would like to go to the next candidate now, please, Nurul. Thank you, Hartanti.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hartanti. On to our next participant, Mr. Hasbiallah from Universitas Mataram.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, how are you, Hasbi?
Hi, great, sir. How about you?
I'm good, thank you very much. Where are you going to go?
So I'm planning to go to the University of Pisa in Italy.
Oh, great. So it seems to me that you really know what you want to do. Why Italy? Why Italy?
First of all, it all begins from a story that my father told me when I was in a kindergarten. By the time I was probably around at age 5 or maybe 6. Right. He told me a story about one man, a very famous astronomer coming from Italy, especially from the Pisa itself, namely Galileo Galilei. He actually the one who introduced the theory that the Earth is not the center of the universe. Instead, the sun is the center of the universe, which now we all know as the Milky Way, a galaxy. Therefore, by the time that I have known the chance that I will be getting the opportunity to going abroad, then for sure, I know that Italy is going to be my #1 list of any other country. Other than that, why do I choose University of Pisa? Because I know that there is one particular club there called, namely, Computational Intelligence and Artificial Intelligence Club, which consists of very good scientists from the university itself. And one of the recent research from the university itself is having a good correlation towards my interest, the fields of study, which is the informatics engineering and about the artificial intelligence. And the project coming from the University of Pisa has been funded by the European Union for around approximately 3 million euros So that's why I choose the University of Pisa and Italy for exact.
Thank you very much, Hasbi. I think you've done great. I will go to the next candidate and I'll talk to you later on.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hasbi, for your amazing interview. And maybe that's all from my list. Maybe Mr. Arsana want to
right.
interview other participants, or
Is it how many do you have, Nurul? Is it
we still
right?
have around 20 minutes.
No, I mean from the list. That's all right.
That's all.
Everybody has.
If the participant want to, but if the participant want to try to interview, we still have a time. Or maybe if there is not, Mr. Asana will give the feedback.
Okay, good. Until what time do I have?
We have around 20 minutes again.
Okay, 20 minutes. Now let me go back to Yovita. Yovita, are you good? I know that
I'm here.
I know that what happens to you is because you're the first. You had no idea what I will ask, right? So I want to give you one more opportunity now.
Okay, thank you.
No problems. Okay, tell me about how do you think, because you are going to study overseas, right?
Yeah.
How do you think what you are going to study will help you to improve your career in Indonesia? You get my point?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, please.
Okay, actually, Indonesia and another country has different of working style, and I think the working style in another country is can I got in Indonesia and make another apa ya style, and that will be a better working in Indonesia. And actually a much of habit in another country that would that really good that have to be
implemented in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Okay, so meaning that if you go somewhere, you will learn the culture of work.
Yeah.
And then that good culture of work you'll bring to Indonesia and then implement it. Okay.
Sure.
Very, very good point. Okay, good, Yovita. Now I would like to talk a little bit more with Hasbi now. Hasbi,
yes, sir, I'm here.
How do you see the advancement of technology, like IT, for example, that creates a lot of good technology that replaces the role of people? Right.
I do believe that technology has some tons of benefits, both the positive one and the negative one. But the more common problem that we encounter on this day is basically coming from where we are now changing from the offline activity to the online activity. So I think the technology really helps us in nowadays era in the disruption of technology, and also with the help of pandemic itself, we are now able to work from home. And thanks to the technology itself, also we can somehow reduce the workload on the offline office, which sometimes create the stress towards the employee itself. So I think it's always been a good idea to develop another technology to innovate, especially in my place here in Lombok. The technology literacy for the people itself is so low, they barely even don't understand how to interact with any kind of smartphones, probably laptop, not talking about internet. There's already been an advanced technology, right? So I think it's the technology concern in my place especially is very, very low, and it still needs quite a long time to improve.
Good point. Now, with the fact that technology replaces people, there is another concern that people will not be able to work anymore because they are being replaced by robots or machine.
Yeah, agree.
How do you see this?
I probably see this because of the advancement of the technology itself, because my field that I have the interest is called the artificial intelligence and machine learning. I do believe that this kind of technology could be able to replace some people. For example, now we have Google, right? Somehow, some of us probably thinking, why do we actually need teacher, or probably attending to the lecture if we can eventually just Google things up and then get our answer that we desired. So, but from that point of view, I'm going to say disagree about this, because no matter what, we are going to rely on the technology, we always need the help of the people itself. For example, if we don't have the teacher, then who is going to guide us? Where are the social skill that we're going to grow? We don't have any kind of chemistry between human and human. So I think it's always been a good idea that technology should not be replaced by human should not be replaced by technology.
Good point. Now I would like to have some comments to everybody in general. Right? Can I start? Okay. Yang pertama, I think I bet most of you did not really, did not really aware or wasn't really aware that the question that I posed to you will be that question. Right? In general, people who are attending interviews, they're expecting to be asked, tell me about yourself, or all of those kind of regular questions. So the very first thing is that do not memorize. Okay, you can learn, you have to learn, you have to practice, but do not memorize answer, especially the sequence of the answer. You got my point? So that will make you reading. You look like reading, you like memorizing. The very first thing that you have to do is to make sure that this is a conversation. Okay, this is a conversation. This is not an interview. So imagine if I ask you one question, just answer, focus to that. Do not add too much about other things. Contohnya gini nih. Kita biasanya udah latihan soalnya kan. Nanti pasti ditanya kayak gini nih. So when I ask you, where are you going? You just answer the country. Tapi biasanya tuh kalau orang udah ngafalin, I want to go to Italy because Italy is a good, that's not a conversation, right? That looks like that you're memorizing. Jadi nggak natural jadinya. So imagine this is a conversation in a cafe with your friend. If your friend asks you, how are you? You just need to answer good or I'm not good, right? You don't have to add too many things that is not correlated to that, even though you know that. This happens a lot to me when I interview people. For example, let's say Kevin, for example. Hi, Kevin, how are you? I'm good. So what is your interest if you go overseas? What are you going to learn? And then Kevin will start by explaining too long about that particular subject and his motivation and why he does it. You know what I mean? In a real conversation, we don't do that, right? We just answer to respond to whatever people ask us. But you have to be able to show good gesture that you're willing to answer more questions. You got my point? Karena kalau jawabnya pendek-pendek doang, teman kita juga kesel kan? Because you are not showing that you are willing to have conversation. So you are willing to have conversation, but you are precisely answering what they ask you to answer. But then show them that you're willing to do more, that you are keen to have this conversation, you are excited about this conversation, but you don't really overwhelm people with too much answer, right? In that particular question. So focus on that question because you can expect that they will ask you more questions, so you can actually demonstrate your ability. I know what happens is that because you prepared already yourself, right? So you really want to show them that I'm prepared, I'm good, I know a lot, right? That's what you have in your mind when you go to the interview. That's why you overwhelm the interviewer with your answer. Now I would like to show you one by one about the question how you should this is just this is my preference. Okay, I'm not telling you that this is the right answer. I'm not God. So for example, unpopular decision that I ask Yovita, right? It doesn't really mean that you go to the moon or you buy a 3 billion house. It doesn't mean that way, but it means that you have to be able to pick one thing and make it special. For example, if you are requested by the lecturers to do some assignments, okay, and most of your friends are doing it using one particular method, but you decide to use other method. You got my point? So meaning that you're different from others. Jadi nggak harus yang muluk-muluk juga gitu. It can be that simple, okay? And everybody has done that, I believe. So don't be afraid of this big question like unpopular decision. It sounds like a very big word, right? But you can actually introduce that big words into something that you can do in your real life. Experience as a problem solver. Remember, I asked Kevin. Kevin, you did great about this. Even though I know that you didn't really expect this question, so you somehow really work hard with your brain, but you did it. I like it. So it doesn't really matter you're a problem solver, like a big problems or not. It can be small problem, but you solve it. Okay, think about that from now on. Whatever your situation is, it doesn't have to be like big problems. Small problems, but you solve it. Number 3, what problems do you think Indonesia is now facing? Ini banyak nih kan masalahnya, tapi pick one that you understand. And then you understand and you can contribute something about it, at least to discuss about it. Mungkin soal artificial intelligence, like what has been said, or I don't know, Naufal, you can also say about something else. And Azhar, you talk about the economy. I like it. Even though you can say that I'm not an expert in economy, you can say that. But what I can see from the people is a lot of people could not go to work. Ini misalnya contohnya nih. Like my parents or my friends' parents, they couldn't afford to pay their tuition fees. So that means economy is really a problem. Gitu. So it can be from your surrounding. It doesn't have to be like big. Okay, what issue will you see overseas? Again, if you watch a TV, that's what I asked, right? You watch TV overseas. What do you think you will see about bad news in Indonesia? Nah, maksudnya di sini adalah you have to be aware what problems we face and how the overseas country will see it. And then the next question will be, you have a solution for that. Not solution for the problems, but at least solution to explain that to others. Biasanya cara menjelaskan gini, yes, we do have problems, but what you see on TV does not really comprehensively explain everything. Itu misalnya contohnya kan. Karena kenyataannya begitu, TV like 5 minutes news can never explain the real situation in one country, of course, right? So jadi kata-kata seperti itu kalian harus belajar. So 5-minute news can never explain the entire situation in a country. So you have to understand that. So yes, we do have problems, but karena nanti kalian akan menjadi duta-duta bagi bangsa kan di luar negeri. So you don't really lie, but you just have to open their mind about our country. Where do you want to study? Why? Tadi sudah banyak contoh yang bagus. Nah, tapi masalahnya gini, when I ask you how many countries do we have in the world, kalau kamu nggak tahu, itu mengurangi bobotnya tuh. For example, I want to go to the UK. When I say, how many countries do we have in the world? I don't know. Like, how can you say that UK is very good? Kamu bahkan nggak tahu negara lain. Paham ya? Kita kan nggak bisa bilang, oh karena UK paling bagus, Pak. Emang kamu tahu ada berapa negara di dunia? Nggak tahu. That's illogical. Itu menunjukkan your decision is emotional, not objective. Jadi yang seperti itu harus dipelajarin. Misalnya, atau kalau tidak tahu, honestly I don't know the real number, but I have observed a number of countries. Gitu. Jangan sampai nanti UK itu hanya satu-satunya, pokoknya sabotase sama yang lain. That will not be good. Economic rank, ya tadi GDP saya bilang ya. Saya tahu teman-teman ini nggak semuanya orang ekonomi, even I'm not an economist. Tapi itu menunjukkan your imagination about your country. Contoh nih, kalau saya tanya misalnya di kelas biasanya, kita ranking berapa ya? Let's say mungkin 300 kali Pak. Saking pesimisnya terhadap bangsanya sendiri, dia bahkan nggak tahu kalau negara itu nggak sampai 200. You got my point. So please be aware of this kind of thing. So learn something about the economy in general. By the way, for your information yang belum tahu, ekonomi Indonesia hari ini GDP-nya nomor 16 dunia, out of 196. Biasanya orang surprise tuh, yang bener Pak. Ya memang susah percaya berita baik tentang negeri sendiri kan. Kalau berita buruk langsung kita share tanpa kita verifikasi. Sorry, this is just a joke, but in my opinion, this is really important for you also to understand. G20 is good. Siapa tadi yang jawab G20 ya? Asar or Asar, correct. Thank you very much. That's a good point. Because you said that because Indonesian economy is good now. That's why we are there. Jadi kenapa kita masuk G20? Ya karena ekonomi kita ranking 16 gitu. So you have to be able to correlate this. Don't be too pessimistic about your country without understanding the data. Hanya gara-gara kamu sering dengar berita buruk tentang Indonesia, belum tentu Indonesia itu buruk sebenarnya gitu. You got my point, right? So you just have to be a critical young people, but optimistic. Okay, positive, optimistic, but critical at the same time. Tadi tentang Muslim, saya bilang tadi karena ini sering ditanyakan because of the culture, right? So I think Hertini made a good point. You can actually add a little bit about, misalnya begini nih, I can go to the club but I will never drink alcohol. Bisa juga kan? Sorry, saya nggak tahu nih. Pokoknya mungkin teman-teman punya kebiasaan atau punya kepercayaan tertentu ya. But you have to be able to project that. You have to be firm with something, but a bit flexible with other things. You can say that. Professor X, I'm really happy to have a conversation with you. I think this is a good time for me to mingle with others. I will go with you, but I will not drink any alcohol because I'm not allowed. I'm a Muslim. Jadi sosialnya masuk banget, tapi prinsip agamanya nggak ditawar-tawar gitu. So if you be able to show that to people, you look very good. Ini punya prinsip, tapi dia tahu apa yang harus dilakukan. How do you think your study will help you to improve your career? Nah, cara jawabnya tuh gini. At the moment, this is my role, this is my skill. Okay? In the future, I want to do this role. And that role will require those skills. You get my point? And I don't have that skills now. So I need to learn. Now, by studying overseas, I will be able to earn those skills that I require to play my future role. Ya, logikanya. Peran hari ini apa, skillnya apa, peran di masa depan apa, memerlukan skill apa. Dan saya belum punya skill itu. Nah, skill itu yang akan saya dapatkan ketika belajar di luar negeri. That's it. Thank you very much. Sorry, agak panjang. Thank you so much, Nurul. I'll give it back to Nurul. I'm not really sure if I still have time or not. Do I still have time?
It's 3 minutes again.
Oh, okay, good. Now I give you time to ask questions. Siapa aja boleh.
Okay, maybe the participants want to ask a question for Mr. Arsana before we end this session. We still have time.
Anybody can, or if not, then I can add something else. Tentang penyebutan ya, with regards to how to address people. This is very common. We say Mr. Andi, like I said earlier. Of course itu nggak salah dalam arti karena orang Indonesia menerimanya dengan baik kan. Karena Mr. Andi comes from Pak Andi. That's fine. Tapi in international stage, interpersonal relation, you don't address people by first name and adding the formal title in the front. Kalau formal title like Mr., Doctor, Professor, it has to be followed by either last name or full name. Okay? Kalau di Australia, this is a different story. People don't address others by title. They address others by first name only. Jadi kalau saya manggil profesor saya di Australia itu hanya Clive or Chris. In Indonesia, it will be impolite, right? If you call me, hey Indi, sini, when you're my student. But in Australia, it's very common. So this is very important for you to understand the difference in culture. But in general, if you don't understand what happens to that particular country, use that formal form. Okay, do professor and last name, or Mr. and last name. If you know them as a doctor or professor, do not use Mr. or Mrs. anymore. Okay, if you know me, a doctor, if I'm from Australia or America, people will address me Dr. Arsana automatically, not Mr. Arsana anymore. If I'm a professor, it will automatically be Professor Arsana, not Mr. Arsana anymore. Okay, so if you don't understand, okay, ini tips nih. If you are facing an academics like me from overseas, and you don't know whether they are professor, whether they are doctor, just call them Professor X. Yeah. Thank you, Professor something. And then if they are not happy to be called that, just call me this. But don't call me professor. Okay. So just use that academic title, doctor or professor. If you say Professor Arsana, for example, oh, I'm not a professor yet, so just call me Dr. Arsana. I would say that. Atau kalau dia casual, call me Andy. That's okay. Once they say to you, do it. Jangan basa-basi lagi. Oh, nggak apa-apa Pak, saya nggak biasa manggil nama. Don't do that because you are not facing an Indonesian or a Javanese. You're facing. If they say that, it means they want you to do that, even though it's not easy for us. Like my professor's name was Chris Rizos. When I saw him for the first time, I saw Professor Rizos. Oh Andy, don't call me that. Call me Chris. Susah banget tuh bagi saya tuh manggil langsung namanya, orangnya udah sepuh gitu. But then I have to adapt. Ini namanya juga yang beradaptasi. Okay, that's it. If I have more time and then you have more question, I'll be happy to answer.
Okay, thank you. But before that, I will ask again. How I can call you in appropriate way?
If you're an Indonesian, I'm an Indonesian. Call me Pak Andi, in whatever language.
Okay.
That is nice.
Okay, so I can call you Pak Andi
Sure.
since from now.
Yes, please.
Okay. Since we don't have any time left,
okay,
we will jump into the next session. For that, I will sorry. Okay, we will jump into the next session, which is photo session. Before that, I will say a very big thank you for Pak Andi, who gives your time to attend today to walk interview. I personally learned a lot during this session. Hopefully one day I will be pass my interview for my scholarship.
I mean, I pray for you. I'm support you. No.
Thank you, Pak Andi.
Pleasure.
Okay. Before proxy, we will have the group photo with Pak Andi as well as the participants. Highly encourage your camera on. We will have a group photo. Maybe the operator will count to screenshot.
Okay, everyone. On the count on 3, are you ready? So 1, 2, 3, and smile. Once again, 1, 2, 3, and smile. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next agenda, we would like to give the certificate for Pak Andi, maybe for Mr. Sandi Gosa, as the manager of Office of International Affairs UPN Veteran Yogyakarta, to give a few words and the certificate.
Okay, thank you, Miss Nurul. Sorry, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you're so audible.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Imade Andi Arsana. My name is Sandi Sampertagosa as a committee manager of Global Scholarship Preparation Workshop 2022 or GSPY. Okay, so then operator, please, can you share the certificate? Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Andi, this certificate is presented by OIA UPN Veteran Yogyakarta to Mr. Imade Andi Arsana. They are willing to be a speaker of KSBY 2022 these days. Thank you for your insight that you shared to us, dedication and feedbacks to all of us. It's an honor to have you here, sir. Hope we
Thank
can
you
meet
very much,
on
Mas
another
Tadi.
occasion. Yes, thank you,
Thank you
sir.
so much. Really appreciate that. Matur nuwun Bu Rukmo juga. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pak Andi.
Thank you, Pak Andi.
All right, thank you.
Okay, goes back to MC.
Okay, thank you for Sandi for giving the words and the certificate. Okay, maybe before we close today's session, Pak Andi wants to give us some advices or maybe closing statement.
Thank you so much. I think it reminds me of my journey. I think Bu Rukmo also had a similar journey when we were younger. One thing that I would like to advise you guys, the world is now different. I understand that, but it is wise for you to understand the different situation in the past. For example, if I tell you a story, how difficult it was to prepare ourselves for English, how difficult it was to prepare ourselves for information session from overseas universities, for example. It was completely different setting, yet we managed. And now you have a different situation. I know that I don't want to say that your life is not a lot easier than us. No, I know that your life is not easy either, but at least by comparing the situation, you feel, in my opinion, you will feel more grateful. Okay, by understanding the different situation, different struggle of different generation, you will, in my opinion, feel grateful. I feel grateful even though my life back in 90s was not really as good as now. But I was grateful because I understood that my father was a lot harder. His life was a lot harder back in the 60s or in 70s. So that's how you are trying to be wiser in life, by comparing your life to others, which is not better than you. Okay, and then with that, you will have more energy to basically to fight for what you want. So I really hope that one day you will send a message to me from whatever country you want. I'll be very happy to hear that. Thank you so much. Matur nuwun.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Andi,
Pleasure.
For sharing your expertise in interview session. I hope in the future we will give you a big announcement, a good announcement for our scholarship, right?
I really hope that. Looking forward to it.
Okay, amin, amin.
Amin.
Okay, because our second session is finished, we will jump into the closing for today's session. After 2 days, our Global Scholarship Preparation Workshop has been successfully conducted with the cooperation, active, and enthusiastical participation from the students all over the world. We believe this program will bring us new insights and knowledge in hand for scholarship preparation. Hope you can prepare your scholarship journey smoothly in the future. Okay, we will invite Miss Nura.
All right, everyone, may I have your attention, please? Let's give a big claps for all of us. Okay, the professor, doctors, students, presenters, and organizers on our achievement and new friendship beyond borders. Thank you so much once again for being here together. Global Scholarship Preparation Workshop is now coming to an end, and we will proceed and inviting our Honorable Miss Rukmawati Brotojoyo to give us a closing statement.
Okay, thank you, Nura. Thank you, Pak Andi, for sharing the very insightful experience with the participants. I believe that all participants will have a great benefit joining the workshop, start from preparing the motivation letter and also experience with the interview. Because these two parts, writing the motivation letter and also the interview, well, I would like to say it's not the easy part. It's the tricky one, but I believe that you can do it. And then by preparing yourself, like what the speakers already suggested before, I'm not going to repeat again, but I believe if you do it seriously, then you can make it under this time of the scholarship offering or in the near future.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I would like to emphasize that please be long life learners, that you need to improve yourself. If you want to grow, then you have to learn many things. You need to understand your country. You need to understand other countries, like Pak Andi said, that this is very important. And then there must be really during the interview, and then you have to be smart and open mind during the interview. So really, and the key is that learning, learning, and learning. So that's all from me. And thank you very much. I give the time back to Nura or Niza.
Thank you, Bu Rukma.
All right, thank you so much, Bu Rukma, for the closing speech. And coming to the end, as already said, that life is never stop teaching us, so do you never stop learning. We wish you a good health and happiness to our lectures, invited speaker, participants, and friends. Goodbye and see you again.
Bye, everyone.
Makasih sekali lagi,
Thank you,
Pak Andi.
everyone.
Okay, thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Pak
Pak.
Andi. Thank you so
Pleasure.
much.
Thank you, Pak Andi.
Matur nuwun.
Thank you to all participants. Bye-bye. Goodbye, everyone. I hope you get something from this workshop. Bye-bye.